Hello? Can anybody hear me? Is this thing on? I appear to be rusted. Very unfortunate stuff. And talk about unfortunate, apparently that insane A's bug that we were experiencing earlier has the, well, it came back, but iquare was able to squash it when he was awake. And so I've shipped a fix for that, as well as some new changes to hallucination, which apparently were very trivial for Veek to implement. We just didn't ever get around to them for some reason. So those are in. Great. I'm in the middle of trying to translate this painstakingly from assembly into Rust. It's not the biggest of functions, but it's not the smallest of functions either. And it has a lot of jumping, so we can't use the IDA for this because it just crashes whenever I try to open it. So, like whenever I try to decompile the function, it says no. So, what else do we got here anyway? I will warn you, this opener will be boring. It will be Rust. Oh yes, there will be Rust. I thought that there was more that I had to do after this too. Like, must have slowly done all of those other ones. I think there is one that needs to be done in GPTP. I actually had tracked my changes or progress in this. Yeah, it looks like I did this yesterday. Drone, by the way, instead of done. And then this is the one that I'm doing now. And then there are two that are in GPTP that I'm going to have to port in here. So that's these two are the final frontier, really. Which is fine. The translation from ASM is much, much slower than I would like it to be, though. Alright. Let's see here. Okay. Shifting left is multiplication. So this would be multiplying it by... Well, I guess I can just write in shift left. I'm pretty sure that operation exists, so... Let's start adding this stuff in here. So we'll say... var4... Now, var4, variable 4 was... over here somewhere. It was active iScript unit, so... I don't know if we're actually going to need that, but... Oh yeah, it looks like we write to it here. EDX. Oh, it just writes itself to it. I don't understand what the fuck the point is of that. It doesn't seem to be used in any actual calculations. Like EAX, this just resets the whole thing, so... let's jump to block D. Yeah, I guess that makes sense, actually. So this checks... Well, we don't need any of that there. So this is... active iScript unit equals edx, which was var4. Again, I don't know why we're rewriting that, but I don't know if I have to even bring that over. 60 is shields. Didn't I just see that anyway? Oh, no. Yeah, units. Unit shields equals cx. So in this case, we can say, like, this is actually the first thing that we can carry over into the programming, I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, I guess we have to set last attacking player to 8 first. So we'll say unit, what is that even called here? Last, no, attacking, yeah, last attacking player. And it has to be like this. 0. And then we have shields equals, and this is brood war units dot shields. And the unit ID. And I need to put more music on. What a mess. I guess we'll just shuffle the normal playlist, which you guys can access for yourself in the link in the description below. Okay. We write unit energy as energy equals 6400. But there was something else too. Oh. Man, the problem with this stuff is you can't really inline shit nearly as well as you would like to be able to, so it doesn't really end very well. One thing that I didn't realize this, but looking at this stuff now, it's pretty crazy to think. Like, I just can't believe how complicated this all gets. Because what you really want is a complete holistic understanding of what the function does so that you can write the code in an intelligible way and make sure that you're not making any mistakes and stuff. But at the same time, like, that's a hard pattern for me to jump into, is for me to completely translate the function and then try to do the pseudocode. I'm trying to do both at the same time, and it's not working out, really. But you know, nobody said programming would be easy. Except for goofballs who are using whatever they're using, clown emojis, instead of actual programming. EDI in this case is the unit, so we'll say... And what is 0xAC anyway? It's 172. Is that I would laugh if that's like a hardcode check for a building. I mean, it is. It has to be because that's all those unit IDs. 172. Yeah. Shield battery. Okay. And there was some order definition that I was going to take a look at as well. So if we take an order definition and we check BC, which is 188. Fatal. That's a strange order to give a unit when it first starts. That's very weird. Not sure about that one. That's what the code says. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Well, all right then. I don't remember what CDQ meant. It's been too long. Now, EDX by this point is what exactly? It's active iScript unit. Active iScript unit and 3. And EAX was listed as EDI, which is unit. But get max energy might return a function here. Hold on. Get max energy returns a U32. So I'm assuming that it returns that U32 in the form of a modified EAX register. Yep. Looks like it. So we'll say... We should probably write the return value of get max energy to a variable and then add it. So yeah, let's do that. I think that's what we have to do here anyway. And then we'll say, I don't think we have to modify energy per se, but that's fine. So then we'll say like, oh, I know, yeah, we are actually technically modifying it in this. Active iScript unit. But I'm not sure why, like, that seems wrong to me. Is there an EDX that gets pushed or something before this function happens? Or is there something I'm missing where EDX is given the value of something else? It's first inside child before. It's also Y at the beginning. But there's no, I'm not seeing any like, oh, push EDX or pop or whatever. So I'm not quite sure what value is being modified here. My instinct would be that it's active iScript unit because that was the last thing that gets modified. Block C is jumped to after EDX is, yeah, so EDX is actively being defined as variable 4, and variable 4 at the very beginning of this function is defined as EAX, which previously was defined as active iScript unit. So that pretty much resolves that, but I'm not sure why you would be doing a logical AND on the active iScript unit. Usually that's for flags or something. And I'm not even sure if EDX as a register is used in here. It looks like it is. but it's also written. It looks like it's just flat out overwritten with 4C, which I believe. Let's see if we can find that. Now 4C is player ID. It takes. So EDX is overwritten with the value of player ID here, and then you're multiplying it to get an array, I guess, or something. I don't know what's going on over there, but. And then EDX just keeps getting set to player ID over and over again. And eventually we have, so by this point, I'm not sure what these values are. Looks like upgrade level? So it's checking the upgrade level of various upgrades for the sake of getting the max energy, right? So I guess that does make sense, in theory. It's just a series of case switches for hardcode, which is, of course, very silly to do. But with that being said, I'm trying to see how that would be relevant here. Like EDX is player ID. You wouldn't do a logical AND on that either. If it even survives the translation back to between the functions or whatever. Which I'm not convinced that it would. So now we have to deal with that, right? So we'll say EX, this is shifting right by 2. And A2, which I think I've already seen before, but I'll go and check. A2 is energy. Okay, yeah, that's where I saw that. So unit energy equals EX. So this divides the whole sum total by 2. I'm sure this is probably like overcomplication on compared to what you would have to actually do with that. So we probably don't even need a variable here. We would just say call get max energy returns through the value of EAX. So we would say EAX, or we would say unit 0 energy equals, and we would say so EAX is obviously the return value of get max energy and 3 2. That's basically how we would do it in one line. I don't think I missed anything here. Oh, I did, yeah. So this active unit, I think that's my variable for, yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one. This is probably very wrong. But hopefully my logic is at least understandable when iquare takes a look at this later. So get max energy. All right, so now we're into block D. We're synchronized across all of them. So in that case, we don't actually need to put block D in here. Right? We can just say block D. And down we go. Of course, I am already seeing some jumps. But it's towards the bottom here. So we'll say jump 2. Jump 2. Man, so many jumps. It's pretty. Block E. Block F. Yeah. This is, instead of jumping, it's just going to be a couple of if statements, but it is still kind of annoying to have to plug them all in this way. Yeah, so this is where we would say, this is unit flags, which is no collision. If. I assume this is an order or something, but I'm not sure if this is out of my head. These are pretty high numbers, I think. Oh, maybe they are unit IDs. Oops. If unit stat flags equal ESI at this point is still the move ESI EDX. Hold on. Go back up here for a moment. 92. Unit stat elevation level. EBX. What the fuck is that? Unit ID. Okay. Oh, this is sprite. Now sprite D's, yeah, sprite elevation equals so this is 6 equals unit. Oh, we'll just say 1. No, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know about that one. What's up, Veek? My man. I think that's player, right? Oh no, that's unit ID. All right. I'm a little rusty here, no pun intended, with all this shit. Oh, wait. So ECX was modified at this point, so it's unit flags 2. Two is landed building. It's bizarre. Now I'm just trying to write this hook. I'm probably most of the way done, but I still got a lot of nonsense I've got to, iron out. Alright, so we'll say... Put some basic stuff in here anyway. Yeah, I spell things. So we can say... Oh, actually, it's... Oh, man. What a bizarre statement. So as far as I can tell, all of these calculations related to unit stat flags and all this, like... Basically, this whole thing should be simplified into one line, probably, of writing the unit stat flags of the unit ID. I don't know what shifting left by 1 is. I don't know why that would be there. I think I can probably ignore that for this purpose and just write unit flags. So we could say unit stat flags. Unit ID 2. And the building. Oh, wait. The DAT flags are a little bit different, though, right? 0x2 is an add-on. Well, that's why I'm confused, though, because it's cycling between unit stat flags and the unit structures flags, like the flags of the structure. So, I mean, I'm doing a terrible job of explaining it. So there are unit flags, and then there's the units dat flags. The unit flags are part of the unit's structure, like the struct, and the unit stat flags are part of unit stat, like a units.dat file. So I'm really confused by that. I don't know why they're cross-pollinating at all. Feels very perplexing. So that's where I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Because we're dealing with unit stat flags of the unit ID being shifted left, and then you're XORing them together, which I don't actually know what happens when you XOR two registers. Let's see. Oh, it swaps them? So we shift these left. So all it does is it writes the flag of 2 to both? Yeah, it's just that I always treat it as 0 because I always see it as like swapping the same thing. So I guess what it's doing is it's writing the unit stat flag of the unit ID and unit 0 flags. Like it's doing both of these. Since it's swapping them twice. It's swapping them once, writing 2, and then swapping them again. Yeah, it crashes when I try to interpret this. I've already done most of it, or at least I'm more than halfway done. So we're getting there. I have a little bit down here too. Started working on the jumps, try to figure out what they would be. It's probably just going to be a bunch of if-else statements, but I'm out of practice with assemblies. Yeah, it swaps them again. It swaps them a third time here. Oh, it swaps them a lot, actually. So, I'm not sure why. Like, why didn't they just... Is this compiler optimization or something? That is doing the same thing as writing out, like, hey, write this data to that over and over again across both... Like, write the same flags across both things. Well, I don't see how that really helps me here, though. Because I don't want it to do XOR. Oh. So in this case, I should do this, and then I should do... So that's... Wait, where's the first XOR? So there's the shift left. I wish that would go away more often. So we have... unit flags. Okay. Stat flags. And then we would say uniflags n equals 2. Wait. And then it... Wait. Hold on. Yeah, ESI equals uniflags, right? Oh, okay. And then it's... Okay. This is confusing as fuck, but I think I'm getting it. So the next XOR happens where ECX, which is overwritten as this, gets XOR'd by EAX, which is unit flags. What the fuck? So then we should do dat flags, unit flags 2. And then unit flags 4. Oh no, that's dat flags. Right. How many more Zors are there? Oh dear. Oh my god. That's a lot of Zors. So we have unit stat flags, unit ID. Yeah, I really want to crack my neck over here, man, but it's not working out. Oh, whatever. It'll happen eventually. Okay. I guess I don't actually need to keep doing and to because I just did that here and overwrote the value of that, so should be fine. I have unit flags equals ECX, so we would say what a goofy thing. But don't worry. We're doing it again. EAX. Oh, wait, shifting right. So we would say dat flags. Flags. I'm not sure why it's shifted right that much, but maybe that's more obvious to somebody who knows the structure a bit more. EAX, ECX. Alright, so this is another Zoring. No, I don't think that works, actually. No. I'm not going to try to get fancy. So this is flags equals flags. I'll leave the fancy pantsing to whoever's picking up the pieces after this mess I'm making over here. So then we're wait, what? So then we have no, I can actually get rid of this too. Then ESI equals unit ID. ECX equals flags. EAX, ECX. Ooh, I have no idea if this is accurate at all. Let's hope. So then we do this, EAX. So then we do, wait, what? Oh shit, I just realized. Oh wait, no, that's fine. But, so we do ECX all this time, but then what is EAX defined as? I guess it's the flags, so then flags. Oh, shit. Is there a not operator in Rust? Rust not operator. Looks like it's just not. Is that ECX or no? So then there's ECX gets byte EDI 105. Pathing flags. Okay. God damn it, I have set below. But I don't know what it's setting. I think it's setting a value to the low byte of EAX if below. If the elevation level is below 12, it sets the value, but otherwise it doesn't? I'm not sure. Wow, nice fucking website over here. Okay. You can assign the bit values 0 or 1 to a set B symbol directly and use it as a switch. Yeah. Alright, I'm not doing that. Give me something a little bit more sensible, will ya? Yeah, set if below. Set B just sets the byte in the operand to 1 if the carry flag is set, otherwise sets the operand to 0. Okay, so it's setting... Ha 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 ha. Okay. So this is set EX to 1 if units dat elevation level unit ID is less than 0xc. I'll set to 0. And then we have ALCO. And then we have, but I don't even know what ECX is by this point. I guess it's pathing flags, right? So we'll say unit pathing flags. And then ECX equals 1. And we have AL 1. Okay, I have no idea what the fuck that does, to be honest with you. Like, it doesn't even seem like this is used later. Pathing flags just gets overwritten when we're overwriting ECX. So I guess pathing flags were used specifically so that they could impact the EAX register here, the AL lower byte. At this point, EAX is overwritten. Oh wait, no, it's setting unit flags to 1 if the elevation level is below a certain amount. So what we should be doing here is we should say if elevation level is below 0xc, unit 0 flags else 0. Basically, like, your flag is set to 1. Which is completed, right? So we would say completed. It's always set to completed no matter what down here. It's just that the flags are also... Oh, I saw 105 earlier. Oh yeah, pathing flags are overwritten. Okay, okay. I see. Pathing flags goes AL. Gotcha. So we know it's always set to 1, which is completed. And it's also, on top of that, it's going to be set, I guess before we do these, it would be set to, it would already be at 1. So we'll say we would say at this point EAX is set to 1, so we would say EAX equals 1. EX equals 0. Well, yeah, it's fine. I mean, I guess we'll do it as a redundancy. But then we would say EAX Zor path flags. Oh, so maybe this has nothing to do with flags. Then it's... Right, and then we would... So that's like the end of the loop there, and then... And then we would say... There we go. And now we can start on the other stuff here, which is comparing dx, which is unit ID. Okay. If unit ID is below 0xc2, E. Oh, I guess it should be this. Less than. So less than equal to 0xc7. F. And then I would say... Alright, hold on. Let's do block E real quick. If unit ID does not equal... Let's see... We're getting somewhere. We're doing it. It's happening. This stuff I'm way more comfortable with. Although I'm sure there's ways to optimize what I'm doing in general. So block E is just comparing the unit ID. So we'd say block G. Comparing unit stat flags. ESI is just unit. Pretty sure. Yeah. I should say does not equal 1. Because then I can do this. I can put these two in here in the case that it's not equal. So that should be fine. C8. In hanger count. Wait, hold on. I gotta pull up unit stat here. So we have C2 is 194. Beacon. It seems like this is wrong. Oh no, because it's going up if it's below Zerg Beacon. But then this is if it's below or equal to. I guess that's because everything else is powered. Well, it's like Brood War units. Oh, maybe that's what it's checking here. But that, well, no, that doesn't make any sense because there's like Brood War units intermixed everywhere, so. Anyway, I wanted to see what it might be referring to with these more obscure flags because there's C8 and CC, I think, or something like that. So C8 is in hanger count. Yeah, it looks like the only C9 I have here anyway is... Oh, there is C8 tech and C9 upgrade for buildings. But it's if this does not equal 1, which would be building. So I guess we can rule that out? Is that even right? So it's like if... The reason why I'm thinking CL is because ECX is overwritten with a value of 1. And then ECX is never touched. So that makes me think that this is just compiler optimization writing a register in instead of a number. Which is probably what's happening. So this value really is 1. And 1 corresponds to a unit stat flag for a building. So this is saying compare unit stat flags, which is what this address is, to 1. And if it has that flag in it, jump to a block. Because this is jump if equal. Right? So jump to block H if unit stat flags has a value of 1. Includes flag 1. Which means this code only runs if the inverse is true and it doesn't have that flag, which means we can rule out that this is in reference to a building. In that case, we have C8 as current harvest target, but no C9 there. And the only other ones that we have are C8 in hanger count and C9 out hanger count for reavers and carriers. But you'd think that there would be more explicit hardcode checks for that, so that's kind of what I'm worried about here. Nonetheless, we'll put it in from what we can discern is like the main thing here, the sensible approach. Oh, it's 2C. But then we have 0x2C being used, right? And 0x3D. And there's no way that these numbers make sense for in-hanger count and out-hanger count, so... Like, is this code jumped to from anywhere? No? then I am definitely confused. Two C is 44, which is above the maximum. It's one above the maximum tech data entry. And 3D 61, yeah. So this is for buildings then. Oh, I guess it's saying if you don't have any of this stuff, then you shouldn't have anything. So we should say tech and upgrade. I guess that's what it's saying. That really threw me off. But I guess that makes sense. So block H. Take a look at block H now. I think we did everything else, right? Block H is jumped down 2 from block G. Like, block G feeds into block H, so we keep that within there. But I think there's some other, like, pernicious issue about this stuff, because, like, block F will go into block G. So I'm just gonna have to inline this shit all the time? I don't know. It seems a little silly. I'm sure there's a way for me to do this a little bit more intelligently, but... Okay. But there was another block G is if jump to block G. But it gets there anyway, is what I mean, so. Zero XCC. What was CC anyways? 204? There's floor hatch. Yeah, okay. Alright, alright. So I guess this is the way to do it then. I'll just do block H and copy and paste. Aw, man, don't do that. So we can just say jump to block I if unit stat flags unit ID. I guess what also throws me off here is I guess all numbers are always hex, so never mind. That's fine. In assembly, it's always hex. That was what was confusing me there. So we've got some values to set to 0 here in block H. So we should do that. Unit 0. Well, I guess maybe block H, like it always feeds down, so maybe block H just naturally occurs down here. And we can say... this. Maybe that works better. Movement state 0. Oh yeah, that's right. So the flags here, I have to modify this, so let's say EX is flags. 0 flags. Large overlays. J. So what's in block I exactly? More unit stat flags checking. EAX being checking for large overlays. Jumping to block. Okay. Another jump SMH. Oh wait. Before this EAX, it's checking if it's invincible. Right? Because this is before, yeah, it would jump to block I. Then it would be jumping to block K if it does not include EAX or invincible. Oh man, that's confusing. So I guess this, I mean, it's not really confusing, but I don't know how to translate this very well into object-oriented code. Because it's mostly just all the fucking jumping. Like, good luck. Unit flags, 4,000. So, basically, this code here only gets executed if the unit is not invincible, right? So, this else statement right here is... Wait, what? When did you describe anything? You goofball? I don't know how exactly that would help me. Let me work through this here real quick, because I don't really fully understand what it is right now anyway. So... yeah, I don't remember anything about booleans. Block I gets jumped to if the unit is invincible. If the unit has the invincibility flag. And then otherwise overwrites the register that has the invincibility flag, setting it to the large overlays flag. And then executes the same code in block I. So block I is either comparing unit stat flags to invincibility, or it's comparing it to large overlays, right? And then it's, I guess, zeroing the flags afterwards. So... since block I gets executed no matter what anyway... although, wait. Because I might be being retarded here. Oh, it's invincible both ways. It's invincible because this is the unit. This isn't unit stat flags. This is unit flags. So either way, it's invincible. What the hell? So it's... this function is setting the unit flags to invincible. If, but only if it includes the invincible unit stat flags. Or sorry, only if it doesn't include the unit stat invincibility flag. And then... oh, anyway, I'm kind of retarded anyway because I didn't see that this jump thing. So it's always okay, never mind. False alarm. It's always the same thing. I just didn't fully read it. Big dummy. Okay. So we have block I only executing once, and only if it includes the invincibility flag in the first place. This is not large overlays. This is invincible. And block I is jump to block K. So this is an if statement. If... wait, I don't even understand this. What the fuck? It's like the same check. The only difference is that over here in this test, it's doing... it's checking the value, the flag, before it's like comparing it. It's flag, logical, and unit stat flags, unit ID. Whereas down here, it's unit stat flags, unit ID, logical, and flag. I don't know what the significance of that is. That is so bizarre. But so block J will get executed, but block K won't. Block A get block A. Block J gets jumped to anyway. I can't believe that was a real Freudian slip. So block J gets jumped to explicitly, but block I will also fall into it. So block J can be where everything comes back down, and this else thing here is for doing this and then jumping to block J. Okay. So we can actually just write block J here. The reason we are going to have to inline block K, though, because... Wow, we just got double pranked by Twitch bots. Classic. Who fucking falls for that stuff anyway? Maybe some people with no reading comprehension? All right, so yeah, we're gonna have to inline block K because we wouldn't necessarily have to, but block J would have to be moved up somewhere else instead. So unit flags. I guess I can recycle my EAX variable. Oh, there we go. We got the neck crack. Perfect. So we'll say EAX. So this would be... And then we would have block J occur, right? Okay. Now we have block K, and we're looking at EDX equals unit sprite equals sprite. 18 is image. Zero x8 image ID. So I guess we can grab that. So we would say Just defining it in the scope of everything so that we can use it in both instances of the inlined block K function. Building overlay state max, and EDX is sprite. So I just want to make sure EDI is still a unit, but yeah, it looks like it is. So unit A7. All right, that's our first operation in this block. Unit. Yeah, just wanted to make sure that that was the case. All right, and AC is that's weird, but so we would say weird that we took out all of this information about images, but we didn't actually do anything with it. Maybe it gets used for some of these calls down here that I haven't looked into yet. So remaining build time equals SI. Remaining build time. Equals. If. Oh wait, yeah. We just made a variable for this build time. So it's say build time. Oops. Remaining build time. Nice. So this is set build HP gain, and we're passing EDI as the unit. And then we're calling set build shield gain. All right. So I mute unit, and it's a void. I guess I should have double checked to make sure we have this. Yeah, we do not. This is at VX. Unit speed. And this is unit 0. No, I forget where the other return was anyway. Yeah, it sets x equals 0. All right, so now we know that block K is the same thing here. Oh wait, wasn't there something that happened if it was equal to 0? What the fuck? I need to find me some ECX. Oh, set it to 1. Okay. Well, I have no idea if it's really complete, but I sure fucking hope so. Long ass function. Oh. I just destroyed myself. It's a good thing I just sent him that because... Oh, man. I just accidentally deleted it. Like an idiot. That's what I get for not synchronizing my workspaces earlier. Dude, that would have been the end of it all. I mean, it's already pretty annoying because I'm going to have to go into ModRS now and fix everything. Add more shit. Oh, boy. Alright, so set build shield gain. I have updated speed already. Okay. I think there was at least like one or two other things that I called, and there's all the ModRS nonsense. Okay, we already have get max energy. Okay. All right. There's gonna be some things that I forgot to define here. I'm pretty sure now. I mean, I didn't forget to define them, but they were deleted accidentally in a horrible accident. I really don't know what happened there. Yeah, I'm rusted. All right, man. Just fucking destroyed my work. Oh, these are baby hooks, dude. Oops, I just started Steam, I think, by accident. Haven't done that in a while. What the fuck kind of retard would make a program, just rip active control over it when it starts? Why? I'm in the middle of trying to do something else. Didn't even start you intentionally, idiot. So annoying when people just say, oh yeah, it's fine. I wasn't doing anything. I forget if it's unit ID or unit. Or I mean, unit ID or just ID. It's unit ID. Okay. What is V2 even used for? Oh, okay. It's just for calculations, I guess. All right, one more to go. Another baby one, dude. Dude, I just played Rust on hard mode. These guys have nothing on me. Oh, I do have to add the let match unit thing. All right. It looks like it's the same exact code, actually. Yeah. It's the exact same code. That's really funny. Well, there you go. Those were so easy. Well, I think that's cause for celebration. 2 hours of Rust flew fucking by. Can't believe it's already been that long, honestly. So I got some other stuff to do now. Most notably, I want to write up some unit descriptions so that I can complete the list of things that I need from DF, or at least augment that list. You know, make it a little bit more complete, I should say. And after that, we're just going to be headed on to maybe writing out some icon descriptions as well. In addition to that, and yeah, that's it. I'm not sure what else will come after that. Maybe we'll actually get some work done on some stuff, but we'll see. So I will return momentarily. BRB. All right, I have returned, and with that, we can timestamp. So, it's time to do something other than Rust. I'll say Hydra housekeeping, because that's pretty much what we're doing. So, what I would like to be able to do now, I guess I'll start with the icons, honestly. That seems like it might be a better option. damaging. Speed increased for 10. Yeah, these have not been too bad as far as plugging all this stuff in. I am trying to figure out what the magical weapons will be called, which is hard for me to immediately come up with a name. Those will be fine placeholders, I think. Oh yeah, I have to add a new creep rule as well. Is there like a transport? No, it doesn't look like that. I should definitely be adding some stuff like that. Oh, this is not what I wanted. That's technically a UI thing, but it's as it pertains to this. It'll be really funny if somebody decides to stuff an Ultralisk inside a bunker. Could you imagine? Technically will be possible. They can't attack, but you pop that bunker and suddenly a fucking Ultra shows up. Oh, hi. I think there will probably end up being some abuses of power here. Like Champion Templar. You can load them in. Obviously, Infested Templar, you can load them in. But Aberrant Hydralisks will be able to be loaded in and attack, so that'll be interesting. I wonder, honestly, since lurkers take up 4 space, maybe they should be able to attack. Oh, I forgot to mark the bottom 2 features. Yeah. So I added in all transports, including bunkers, can now load allied units. Organic units of all races and sizes are able to enter bunkers. Organic ranged units of all races are able to fire from bunkers. Both the transport owner and the unit owner can issue unload orders. Unit order by clicking on the unit's wireframe. Transport owner through any method. I should add a load orders as well. And wireframes of units inside transports are color coded if the unit's owner differs from the transport's owner. So basically, it will allow you to like pick up your allies' units, or your ally can right click on your transports to task them as well. So. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Anyway, I agree with disabling the help menu hotkey. That's for sure. All right, so I've added that stuff in too. Looking good. All right. Excuse me. How embarrassing. Ooh. Biohard, by the way. All right, so then we have the mechanical upgrades now, which right now are limited to tempo change. Oh yeah, I still haven't restarted my PC, so I can't even radmin. I gotta remember to do that. While increasing the damage in the center would make it so that if you don't find the nuke, it basically destroys whatever you've targeted, which might actually be a better way to consider the like it's a guaranteed kill on whatever it hits or something. Or not necessarily guaranteed, but deals like 1.5 times the current damage, so it would destroy a lot more. I wouldn't mind that, but my main concern is I've just massively reduced the cost of nuclear missiles. I'm not sure if the further buffing the damage or reworking the damage really is then going too far, but I do think that that would lead to a healthier gameplay inclusion. Like I think that that's a healthier idea for the missile, is that it's like a like I don't want to do like the reverse logic where I'm working back from my obvious assumption that I like the idea of ground zero as a change, so I want to make it more impactful, or I want to change something else because of that addition. So I'm kind of leaving that out for now. Like I'm ignoring that. I'm ignoring ground zero and just taking the vanilla nuclear missile on its face. And I'm thinking that I think it's silly that you'd have to drop two of them, regardless of its cost, unless its cost was super cheap. But the nuke missiles or the nuke silos are still the limiting factor now, or they are. They always were a limiting factor because of the resource costs, but they're pretty tough to. It's a little difficult, I think, to look at a nuke player building tons of nuke missiles to the point where they or nuke silos to the point that they can have so many nuke missiles, right? So it's probably going to be at least early game. You're going to see like one nuclear strike, not like not two, right? So yeah, I think that is a better approach. I'll play around with it maybe after I'm done writing all these icons out. Also, DF sent me a demo, a mock-up of what the factory would look like. It's a quick test. It's not a complete model, but this is what the factory would look like to account for the change in size so that the add-ons would still work. And I think it works out. Like, I don't think it's a horrible change. I was thinking that we could have, since obviously the current read for the factory, for one, it's really small. I think for units that can pop out of the factory are some of the most powerful that Terran have. So the idea that their read for the structure working is like this tiny little set of lights is a little silly to me. But obviously we wouldn't want to rely on that now because it's mostly obscured. What I was thinking is that either these two black windows here could light up with a slow glow, or it would be the centerpiece over here. I didn't really get a good look at this, so I didn't realize what it was like. But my idea was that you'd actually see like an interior orange or red glow that would basically be like I'm trying to think of like a good comparison to draw upon. It's hard for me to think about it, but it's like if you had two intersecting lasers and they were like one laser was moving up and the other laser was moving to the right, but of course it's at a slight angle, right? Because the window's at a slight angle. So you'd see them doing this kind of motion. And they'd be like doing that relatively slowly, but both of them passing to the other side and then back. And that animation would basically be something to the effect of like it's like it's an assembly of some sort, right? It's like showing the assembly occurring. It could also be, if we wanted to take a different approach than that, because that's more of like we're 3D printing this shit or whatever. We could do something like blue sparks coming from inside the windows, and that would probably be easier to do anyway. But the blue sparks would basically be like SCV repairing kind of thing, except more pronounced. And it would be like, there's robotic arms in there assembling shit and stitching it together with fusion sealers or whatever, fusion cutters. Like that to me probably makes a bit more sense with the current aesthetic of the Terran race. So that's probably what we'll do. Missile speed increase for magical attacks. God damn it. Back to nothing. All right, so plop this balance change in. Wait, what? Why did I make you think that? Oh, because I said, because I went. No, listen, you'll know because it's much more noisy and slightly homosexual. Moves roughly 10% faster. Pathfinding improved. So what are you up to anyway, Veek? Hanging out? Jamming? Oh, cool. Very exciting. All right. Honestly, I'm not sure that we even need a new weapon for the Arbiter. I'll keep it on my mind as a consideration, but not quite required. It's nice of you to do that. Dude, what kind of sick bug is this? I've selected a different graphic. Jesus Christ. I have to close the program and edit it in settings. What a mess. Oh, actually, maybe I can just reopen it now. Why does this keep happening? I don't understand. Something is clearly fucked with this. It was just me being fucked. Don't worry. These are where the overlay will spawn, the damage overlay. I'm putting this stuff together for iquare. Currently, it's not possible to preview with actual fire graphics, which is pretty unfortunate. Yep. I don't even know if he's got entries for some of these. Just 2 more to go and we'll be out of here. All right, it's just a shadow here, I suppose. So that's fine. T Barrack. All right. Oh, I actually needed that. These are my convert folder for later. Hey, what was that disabled feature in PyMS or PyMPQ or whatever that you found yesterday? I heard that there was something disabled, but I don't know what it was. Why was that disabled? He just didn't want to do it? He didn't want to add the feature or something? Oh, I should mark lobotomy mine is not done. Oh, I see. Yeah. Guess it all makes sense now. Well, it's been 3 hours once again. I think I'll once again call it a little bit early. I've done quite a few icon write-ups, so much so that I don't think I missed any. Suppose real quick I'll check. Pretty sure we got everything here. Obviously I don't have anything for the Paladin yet, but that's alright. Where is tempo change? I just saw it. No, I've lost it. we go. It's a little bit more deliberate. Prepare corpses of structures. Dude, now you're speaking my language. Talk about reclaiming, right? Oh, man. Okay. So we didn't end up documenting. I mean, I might do this later on. I did not eat much breakfast, so I'm really hungry. And if I go eat now, it's like might as well end the stream. So. I can do this as. You hear as I'm closing out, dude. But welcome anyway. Oh, shit. I haven't even remembered to take a look at the votes. Thanks for reminding me. Hmm. Oh yeah, the liftoff ones are definitely going to be annoying. During decloaking, do you want Dark Templar to appear decloaked for player, or still cloaked like revealed detector? It should behave exactly like normal decloaking. I think. We'll play around with it though. Like, randomly gimmicking the whole system of cloak decloak is a little much for that unit. And yeah, like pretty much every unit, I'm getting to the point where most units have upgrades now, but most units probably should have more than that. Like, obviously, once I get to the point where I've implemented tier 4 and tier 5 tech trees, like tech tree tiers, we'll have more to play around with balance wise. Like, as it stands right now, I'm going to continue adding in stuff like upgrades for, like, I'm going to replace Karen boosters with something else for Goliaths. But I'm going to be adding in stuff like upgrades for this, that, and the other thing, and a lot of them are just going to result in different... Well, no, he went all the way up to, like, tier 10, I think. But the idea of making them very expensive is something you can probably trace back to, like, Age of Empires and stuff. Yeah, I still have to revise the concept of paladins at some point. And that also might be a graphic that I don't even bother implementing until, or a unit I don't even bother implementing until we have a graphic for it, because it's really, really strong. Yeah, I was thinking that paladins might end up being more of an anti-ground solution at the end of the day, or not more of one, but have the option. Right, well, that's why it's not nearly as expensive in my ideal version of, like, what I'm thinking of for Hydra is that the structures will not be nearly as pricey to tech up to relative to what Age of Empires has you do. Like, Age of Empires has you save up a ridiculous amount of money for some of the later tiers. In Hydra, it's like, all right, you're going to have to part ways with like a couple thousand resources or something, but it's nothing crazy. And I can probably make it so that the structures themselves have a really high amount of survivability too. Like, I want to balance around it. Like, everything that people will initially complain about, oh, I can lose it, it's going to get sniped, oh, it takes so much time to get resources for, like, that, you can adapt your playstyle for it, but I can also have different elements of the balancing. I've got a lot of levers to pull to help balance that stuff. I'm not really worried about it as much. So... I certainly think that I'll have Skyfall actually be an ability instead of a passive, but Skyfall will do something different. So if we look at Skyfall now, it just says, when targeting air units, the Paladin cannot be issued any new orders until all 20 of its missiles have launched. This, to me, is like, it's way too... There's way too much positional overhead for that kind of action, given the slow movement speed. What I think instead I'll end up doing is having the unit just fire off like a short salvo of maybe 4 missiles instead of 2 like the Goliath does. So it's already better at anti-air than the Goliath just by virtue of that. And then have Skyfall be something where it designates a location that has a fairly large radius, fairly large fairly large range, but a rather tight radius. Say like 3 or 4 weapon range, which is not, maybe that's not super tight, but it's like 128 pixels max. Yeah, at some point I'll remove all of the escalation stuff when we have the add-ons. I guess what I should do right now is I should just end up deleting them now so that we don't cause any confusion. All right. And then I'll modify the paladin. Thanks. Jesus Christ, how many paladins? There's attached salvo yard. Six transport space, by the way. Just saying. All right, so we'll say mid-range. In this particular thing, I'm going to say long range, explosive damage, projectile, ground and air units. Ultralisk is 4. Paladins ignore minor obstacles. I guess they could path through. Well, it wouldn't look proper at all if they pathed through units. But I guess, yeah, minor obstacles. We'll definitely need some pathfinding hooks. I guess I don't mind that in theory. I can write that down as a note. But that is going to be tough to do. That'll be real tough to get right as far as the algorithm goes. Oh, well, yeah, it definitely does. It's mostly there as like, hey, you can use this if you want to, but I still fully expect people to actually use, like, actually make their own AI. No, V. Really, the only other example of something like this is the Valkyrie, where it freezes while its attack sequence fires. The Goliath, or sorry, the Paladin will launch a salvo of like I'm not sure how many missiles, but at least 4 missiles. And as soon as it acquires the target and launches the first missile, it can be given a movement order, which means you could kite back after the first missile launches. So it can move while attacking, but it cannot attack unless it stops moving first to acquire a target. If that makes any more sense. Well, it wouldn't have acceleration because it's an iScript unit. So basically, it's like, I'll show you what I mean by firing up a quick test map. All right, so you see how I have this Valkyrie. I'm going to attack the battlecruiser. You see how if I attack the battlecruiser and then issue a movement command, the Valkyrie cannot move. This change would make it so that the Valkyrie acquires a target, you right-click to move, and it moves while firing the missiles. If I were to apply this to the Valkyrie as an example, right? So if we take a Goliath, it would be like if the Goliath launched 4 missiles, but as soon as it launched its first 2, I could order it to move backwards, and it would launch the second 2 after, while still moving. Does that help you understand what it is? It doesn't mean I can just launch missiles without stopping to move, right? It doesn't mean that I have to... I can't attack unless I'm not moving, but I can move while my attack sequence is firing. I don't have to wait until it's complete. What's up, Alexander? You popped in just in time to see me say bye, but I'm just finishing up the revision of the Paladin. I don't know about that name, but that's fine. Well, it's not even a selected shield battery. I think it's like any selected unit, but it's very specific. I've just disabled the hook for now, and we'll figure out what's wrong with it later. Oh, but did you saw the nuke change, right? It's pretty epic. Where's my covert ops? Just the idea of irradiating the entire fucking planet, pretty much. Just like Nagasaki. That guy had a little bit of a speech impediment. Well, I think that'll do it for me. There is an icon request list now in the task sheet, Mr. DF. Should be a little bit more reasonable for you to take a look at it. And otherwise, go ahead and pop. Oh no, I already did that, right? Yeah. New version in, fixed the AI issues from yesterday, and updated the Goliath tech requirements to require a machine shop and reduce their cost. I'll figure out what I'm going to do for an upgrade for them later on. And I'll update the icon list as well to show the Paladin's weapon and passives and stuff as well later on. And that's about it. Good progress today. We did some rusting. We did all sorts of other junk. Happy about that. I will catch you guys tomorrow for another one. Like I said in the fraud channel, there will probably not be a fraud night. I'm going to be busy because it's America Day. So if you were looking forward to that, I apologize. I didn't even look at the calendar. But as a result, if you guys want to just hang out and do your own fraud thing, maybe Mutas Dozen can organize a stream or something if he'll be around. I just won't be able to do it myself or join you guys. So feel free to go on in my absence. But I will not be able to myself. So I do apologize for that. Until next time. Bye.